Welcome back, friends, to another adventure with Herbal Expeditions. As promised, I'm here with some more arnica. I mentioned that we were going to make these into medicine as soon as I had a little bit more time, and today it's a beautiful day, and I've noticed that some of the arnica is actually a little bit past its prime. Not medicinally, just in appearance-wise, as far as the flowers. The good news is you can make the same medicine out of the little heart-shaped leaves. And they're found on Arnica cordifolia. Remember the heart-shaped arnica? Oh, look, there's some false Solomon seal. We'll have to do a video on that. Oh, and some cleavers, one of my grandson's favorites. We'll have to do a video on cleavers as well. It looks like it's in its prime. But today's focus is making these beautiful flowers, Arnica cordifolia, into medicine. And as I mentioned in the previous video, you only want to use this topically because inside it can cause inflammation and other toxic effects. But externally, it's wonderful as a salve. It's wonderful as an infused massage oil for inflammation, for sore joints. I had a friend who actually requested today that I make him a remedy for some sore joints. And that's what we're going to be doing today. So I brought some supplies with me. Just a small jar. We're going to try this out for my friend. He's about to have surgery on his knee. He wants to avoid any addictive or side effect causing medications that the doctor wants to press upon him. So we're going to go all natural remedies. I use this on my own arthritic joints and inflammation. Works great for sprains and strains. It's also a good stress reliever, especially in the cases of anxiety and trauma. So dealing with trauma, if you can get this on a person immediately, it's a nice little sedative as far as that goes. All right, so I'm going to collect a few of these flowers that are in their prime. I brought some scissors, and I'm just going to, right below the calyx, right below that flower bulb there, I'm just going to snip that. And as you can see, it is a beautiful flower. Cut it off right below that calyx. And we're just going to let them drop into their jar. You also want to take note because spiders like to hide in these in order to ambush bees and things. So you want to look out for both spiders and bees. Just kind of shake them off. Maybe put them on a different flower. You definitely don't want to pull these out of the ground. This plant spreads via a rhizome under the ground. So if you go ripping it out, you're just going to ruin your crop. And nobody else is going to be able to enjoy these flowers. And I'm also going to take some of these leaves that are still in their prime. Just snip a few of these, put them in the jar. Look at that beautiful color. I love how much these arnica flowers can just brighten your day just by appearance, especially when you put them in your windowsill and the sun hits it and it starts infusing into that clear base oil. Today I brought with me from the ACHS Apothecary a high quality organic sweet almond oil. And that's what I use to infuse the arnica into. It's a nice clear oil, but once those constituents penetrate the oil, it makes the whole oil a lovely yellow color. And I can show you a finished product later on that I have. It's a couple years old, so I'm probably going to just go with this fresh batch. And just so my friend has the best therapeutic properties of the freshest oil and the freshest remedies. So you don't want to pack it in here. It's also the afternoon, so all the dew has evaporated off the flowers. If you got a lot of moisture in your oil, that can contribute to it turning rancid. So I'm going to put these in here, maybe a couple more flowers that are in good shape. One back here. Couple little bugs. See how beautiful that is? All right. Then I'm going to take my base oil, and you can use apricot oil, which is good for the skin, palm kernel oil, if you like coconut oil. You can use that. This just happens to be my favorite. So I make most of my infused oils out of. You want to get it so it just covers the top of this plant material. So you see all the oils run down in there. There's a few air bubbles, but as I leave this in my windowsill in the sun. That sun warmth and energy helps to infuse that. I'll just give it a few shakes a couple times a day. Make sure all the air bubbles are out. And if I need to add more oil, because you can see it's come down, the level has come down as the air bubbles rise up, you can add more oil. Just give it a few shakes, turn it, make sure it's submerged underneath that oil. And I also vent it a couple times a day, because there is a little bit of water in these leaves and flowers that'll sit down at the bottom of the oil as it separates out. So as you shake it, some of that water will evaporate, and as that warmth helps the water evaporate as well. And the last thing that I want to do is label this. As I was getting into this practice, I actually made a few wonderful remedies. But when you start making things like dandelion oil, dandelion tincture, other yellow flowers, they can start to look really similar. So you want to make sure that they're appropriately labeled. So I put arnica infused sweet almond oil, and I also put a date on here. Any oils like this, you want to keep in a cool, dark place after they're done infusing, and you filter out the substrate. But you also don't want to keep it past about a year, because then it can go rancid. Things like tinctures, those can last more indefinitely, especially with the higher proofs, the higher potencies, the percentage of alcohol in your tincture. But that's going to be my friend's arnica oil to use on his knees after his surgery. And hopefully it helps. Remember, external only, inflammation reducer, good for sprains and strains. Thank you for joining me today. There will be more videos coming up. It's good to have you here. Thank you.